What's going on YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about Nightwing, number 78. That's right, this is the first issue in Tom Taylor's run on Nightwing, and it is a nice, beautiful breath of fresh air. Seriously, I mean, I recommend checking out the issue before listening into the rest of this review. But you know, Tom Taylor, I was very excited when he was announced to take over writing for Nightwing, and with this first issue, I mean, everything just hit on all cylinders. Like, nothing, I didn't have really any issues with this issue per se. I thought this was a really stellar start to this Nightwing run. It's like welcoming you back. It's like seeing an old friend you haven't seen in a really long time, because for the past few years we've been kind of greeted with like Rick Grayson and all these other like things that just weren't Nightwing. Like, it just kind of felt like a completely different character, and it went on for so long, and it just feels good to have, you know, good old Dick Grayson Nightwing back. There's a new status quo going to start. He adopts a puppy. Barbara Gordon's there, and she seems to be starting to play a larger role. There's the colors, the artwork is all amazing. There's some flashback stuff with Alfred. There's a very touching scene towards the end of this issue. There's just, everything is just firing on all cylinders with this thing, and I absolutely loved issue 78 of Nightwing. I think Tom Taylor just knocked it out of the park. So with that said, I'm going to go through and do a brief summary of the issue. So if you don't want any spoilers, I recommend clicking off the video and then coming back later after you've read it. So let's go ahead and dive into this thing. So we'll go ahead and briefly start this thing out. So the issue begins several years back when Dick Grayson was a kid. We see a young Barbara Gordon. This is actually the first time they met. They meet a really douchey person named Shelton Lyle, and I mean, this guy is just an asshole. Like, Dick Grayson comes in, he sees some kid getting bullied. Barbara Gordon was there to try and help and stand up to them, and this douche nozzle is like, oh, so I've seen you before. The Flying Graysons, guess they couldn't fly after all. So yes, a kid's parents died, and this guy is just such a jackass that he just kind of makes fun of him for like, oh yeah, your parents are dead, orphan. And man, what a douche, what an asshole. There's plenty of assholes in this book, but anyways, Dick Grayson stands up to him. Barbara Gordon's there, just Shelton guy's like, my dad owns the police. I'm like, it kind of reminded me of Pip Tannen and Back to the Future too. He's like, kid, I own the police. So yeah, so this really rich preppy douchebag is just like, you're gonna pay for everything. And they're like, my dad owns the police, yada yada. And Barbara Gordon shows up and she's like, what do you think, Dad? So there you go, there's Commissioner Gordon there, which is pretty great. So he goes and he takes Dick Grayson home. Barbara Gordon's there. This is like their first time actually meeting, I guess, flashbacks to this. I'm not sure if this contradicts anything previously, but it is kind of a nice touching scene right here. So anyway, so there's like, it's nice to meet you, Dick. If you ever get locked in the tower and need to be rescued, just send your fairy godmother to find me. So there you go, that's kind of like the beginning of the foundations of their friendship. You can kind of see little bits there. She's like, wow, you live in like a castle. Like, again, I kind of want to see some more flashback stuff with them as kids, just to kind of see how their friendship grew some more. I really like that stuff. So again, Barbara Gordon's gonna be playing a critical role in the Nightwing book going forward, and I'm all the more for it. I love Barbara Gordon. I like her with Dick Grayson together, especially when she's Oracle. I think that works really well, and the way Taylor kind of writes it, there's a sense of warmth to this. I mean, look at this issue. Like, the artwork is really good. The colors, very bright, very welcoming, and it just kind of makes you feel that way throughout the issue. And it just, you know, it's very touching. Like, look at this first panel right here. Like, look at this. Like, this shot is amazing. You see Dick Grayson there. You got the sun in the background just kind of jumping out as Nightwing. Like, it's a very welcoming scene. It just feels good. It kind of makes me think like when I'm watching like an anime, like a lot of animes, like they have kind of like those bright, like warm colors to them, and you just kind of feel good. Like, wow, that's really pretty. That's kind of like the what I feel like when I look at this artwork here, and the colors and everything just kind of like firing on all cylinders. So then we go ahead and get to the next portion of it, where back in the present time, some real pieces of shit are just abusing this poor little puppy, and Dick Grayson comes in there, kicks the crap out of him. Like, he's really pissed off here, and rightfully so. Like, he goes full John Wick and just kicks the crap out of him. Like, these guys, they just want to shoot this poor innocent little puppy. Like, it's a puppy, it's a three-legged puppy, and this poor dog's just been abused. So Dick rescues him, and even the thing's like very hesitant to be around people, as you can kind of see here, and even bites him. So then he takes it to go to a veterinarian, and he's got this thing flying around. He eventually adopts this dog, and, you know, I don't know. There's just something kind of like sweet about that, like Dick Grayson having his own little pet dog now. I think that's kind of cool. So then we also see here, we see Blockbuster. There's a lot of corruption in Blüdhaven, obviously, and a lot of it's escalated since Nightwing has been gone. Blockbuster's there, the mayor's there. The mayor gets killed and replaced by the new mayor, which is the daughter of Tony Zucco, who, as you know, is the ones responsible for killing the Flying Graysons. So that's something that's going to be playing a factor into this book later on. So anyways, Dick Grayson goes to his apartment. He's kind of like not doing so well financially, but that all starts to change. You see somebody's in there, and it's Barbara Gordon. And then she starts hearing barking, and then she sees this puppy, and I just kind of love this reaction here. Again, look at Babs, like, she's drawn pretty well here, too. She's like, oh, what's her name? And he's just like, oh, he's going to the pond. Like, no. This is going to be your fur baby. So I really like that stuff there too. So anyway, so Barbara's actually there. She kind of messes with him and like gives him a little bit of crap, like just kind of playful banter here and there. But she's like there. She's like, okay, we have Alfred's will here. And then he looks at it, and Alfred was surprisingly really rich, I guess a billionaire, and he left all his money to Dick Grayson. And he even like gave a reason, because he even gave a written letter there too. And then Alfred goes in to explain this whole letter as to why Dick Grayson is, why everybody loves Dick Grayson, all these great qualities that he has. And it's a very emotional letter because, Alfred wasn't just expecting to die, but Alfred has since gone, and it just leaves a real hole in these books altogether. So anytime we can get some good flashback stuff with Alfred, I'm all for it. We had that last week with Batman Urban Legends when it was Jason Todd and Alfred and the flashback stuff, and obviously this week with Dick Grayson and that. And again, it's a really nice, sweet, touching letter. Barbara Gordon's there, like there's a sense of comforting. Even his new little dog, which they don't have a name quite yet for her, but again, just this letter here. Proud of your heart, proud of your compassion, proud of your humor, your optimism, your strength in the face of everything that confronts you, and above all that, barely said it aloud, I am so very proud to call you my son. Which is interesting because a lot of people are like, oh, Bruce considers him a son. But then again, Alfred's there too. He considers him a son. So that's kind of an interesting thing. A lot of people were surprised that he said son as opposed to grandson. But, it's Alfred. Alfred's one of the best characters in all of DC Comics. I mean, you can't just not love Alfred Pennyworth. His wit, his intelligence, his compassion. Alfred's just a great character, and you can see Dick kind of getting emotional because he wasn't there, because beforehand he was Rick Grayson, so he didn't know. So Dick Grayson now has a lot of money. He's filthy rich. He's a lot richer than Bruce Wayne is. So now he can start to get the resources, and that can change things up. And you know what? Coming back from losing your memory to being super rich, it's pretty cool. So there's that, and then we kind of get some teases of the new mayor who is going to be targeting the Flying Graysons. So there's that. So Zucco's daughter is going to be on the run there, or going to be confronting. So again, they're setting things up for the rest of this book. And again, there's still all sorts of other Batman titles going on. They're going to eventually tie into this book too. I know they're planning to have a crossover at some point with the Robin book, because Dick Grayson has not really had like a full conversation with Damian yet. And again, we know how important those two are to one another. So I am intrigued for when that finally happens, because we know in the last time, Damian interacted with him was in Detective Comics, and it was kind of like a brief thing. He never stayed for like a family reunion because he was just kind of going off on his own thing. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see down the line. I'm excited to see Barbara Gordon and Oracle integrating this thing more. They'll probably build upon their romance a little bit, which is good, because I feel like the previous couple runs have just kind of like shat on that a while. And again, these two have a long history with each other, and I want to see that explored. And Tom Taylor is usually good at writing some good stuff there. So I thought this is a really great start to this Nightwing thing. Again, so far in Infinite Frontier, I feel like this is like the strongest, well, yeah, it kind of is the strongest, single issue. I mean, I like the Urban Legends Jason Todd story from Batman Urban Legends, but the rest of it was just kind of okay. But this is a really great start to Nightwing. I've seen all sorts of reactions from different people online, and everyone seems to be really loving this. So Tom Taylor, man, he's really good at writing DC characters, I tell you that, and especially this Nightwing book. So I am excited to see where they go with this thing. Again, I really like Nightwing. Nightwing's one of my favorite DC characters. And this is a much-needed return to form after the whole Rick Grayson fiasco and just the past couple of years of just not feeling like Nightwing. And this thing's going to really go and try to establish him, you know, back to A-list status within the DC pantheon. So I couldn't be more excited for this book. So anyways, what are your thoughts on Nightwing number 78? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the bell for notifications, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I got some more content coming up along the way. Later on this week, I'll be talking about Zack Snyder's Justice League, so that should be fun too, and a slew of other videos that I'm going to be starting to work on. So I'm finally getting a little bit more free time to do some other content, so I can't wait to get back into the swing of things. So yes, I really dug this Nightwing issue. So if you read it, let me know your thoughts down below. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.